Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just Isupk sat in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in his dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. There was design fire for our babies to pass through. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Someday you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my actions. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angels, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
Do you see just how it feels? Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fast for our babies to pass through it. And the damn our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Do you see just how it feels? Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Yeah.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my.
All right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakathum. Yahweh Shamar Aladun Bashem Yahushua. I am priest and also Thou Shab of the Isupk. Started 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding Jenna Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible. Today is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class out here in Florida. We broadcast from Orlando, right? So if you're in the Central Florida area, every single Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30, we are in Hart Memorial Library, 211 East Dakin Avenue, right here in Kissimmee, Florida. So make sure you stop on by, man. That's every single Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30, all right? Big up. I got Trooper Kanak on the live with me, all right? Most sign Christ going on, boy.
Hey, what's going on, sir? Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shabbat Shem Yahushua.
Damn right, man. Good to have you on, Warrior. All right. So, of course, as usual, like we do for every class, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in. I posted the broadcast link on the YouTube chat. All right. All you have to do, if you're on the YouTube, is just click on that link or copy and paste it. However it needs to be done. If you want to join the live, anybody can join, brother, sister, Israel, heathen, whoever you are. You know what I'm saying? You want to hop on live, you want to make a statement, hop on. You know what I'm saying? You act out, we'll kick your ass out anyway. So, all right, click on the link, man. Also, if you're new in the school, looking to get your Hebrew name, All right. And completing your 90 days, make sure you fill out the form that's posted on the YouTube chat as well. All right. Like I mentioned for the broadcast, you can click on this link as well for your Hebrew name or copy and paste it and fill out the information. So that way you can get credit for the class. All right. And shout out to everybody that's on the comments, on the chat. Shalom. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to see these familiar faces, everybody that hop on every single Tuesday, man. Most High in Christ for that. Make sure y'all share this, like it, you know what I'm saying? Get it out there. Tell your friends about it. Tell your family members about it. Tell everybody that you know what I'm saying, that we come out here to teach the truth of the Bible, all right? Shit, Itazah, man, if you're able to hop on, you got the production down packed. I don't know if you can hear me outside the side. You know what I mean? If you're able to hop on, feel free to do so. All right. So I'll give y'all time to formulate any questions that you may have. I know every Monday is the scripture breakdown. Isupk will be the head of the class with Austin the Shock and the brothers down south. You know what I'm saying? So big up to that priest. Make sure y'all tune in. It is a mandatory class for Florida. So if you're looking to get all your questions answered, all you have to do is type in Isupk Florida on your YouTube every Monday and ask any question you like and you'll get it answered, all right? But if you have any that's lingering that you didn't get a chance to ask from yesterday, feel free to do so. All right, so I'm gonna jump into the topic for today. Let me go ahead and post up the banner. Let's see right here. See, I can see the topic. Okay, there you go. Well, if you can see it, on my screen, it says the truth about black on black crime, right? So we're gonna discuss black on black crime, dispel all the myths about it, everything that we heard from statistics to false information from the news, internet, books, whatever you heard about violence within Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? We're going to address it all in today's class, all right? We're going to see what the Bible says in regards to that as well, too, all right? Because I'm not sure if you know, if you're familiar with our classes, right? We teach the truth of the Bible, right? The truth is that this book called the Bible is the history of so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, right? If you read this book and you read about the Israelites, guess who you're reading about? All right? You're reading about so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And there's prophecies that's mentioned in the Bible that speaks about Black people losing their identity, Black people going into captivity, Black people committing acts of violence against one another, Hispanics and Native Indians alike, right? And all these prophecies that's mentioned in the Bible, you know what I'm saying, from Genesis all the way to Revelations, only fit one group of people, right? This is your history prior to slavery, Black man, all right? All the characters and all the figures, the important figures of the Bible were all Black. From Moses, David, Solomon, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Joshua, you name it, right? Everybody that's listed of the 12 tribes of Israel are all so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? And what we have done here in the ISUPK is studied this book and found out that many of the plagues that we suffer today in our communities, in our ghettos, in our barrios, in our reservations, the answers are found in the Bible. Right? I know y'all heard the saying where people often say history repeats itself. Right? I'm sure everybody's familiar with that. You know what I'm saying? Well, there is truth to that. Right? The Bible mentions that there is nothing new under the sun. If we want to better our conditions, we want to put ourselves in a better predicament than what we're in currently right now here in America or Central America or South America, right? All we have to do is look back in history, trace the records of our ancestors, and find out what we need to do today, right? Let me get real quick. Let's get where Moses slew the Egyptian. If somebody can grab that for me real quick. If you can grab that, Trooper could not. Moses slew the Egyptian and he had to flee, right? I'm going to read to you black on black violence in the Bible. Also, police brutality in the Bible. Everything that we going through today as black people, guess what? Is recorded in the Bible. It happened thousands of years ago. Right? Our people are the same people that was in the land of Egypt, that was in captivity under the Egyptians and Pharaoh. Right? The people that was fled out of Egypt through the Exodus. Right? Those people who crossed the Red Sea with Moses are the same people that's in captivity here in America today. Right? And everything that we going through right now, from police brutality, from poverty, from oppression, guess what? That's the same thing that we had to deal with 400 years, thousands of years ago in Egypt. Right? It was 400 years in Egypt. Guess what? It's been 400 plus here in America. You know what I'm saying? The Lord prophesied that he was going to send his people in Egypt again, in bondage again. The same role that they played of servitude under Pharaoh thousands of years ago, the Lord prophesied that they're going to have to play that same role if they didn't keep their commandments. And that's what we're in right now here in America. We are in bondage, right? And these politicians and these world leaders and the presidents, you know what I'm saying, they play the role of Pharaoh. And we are the Hebrews in Egypt all over again. Right? So I'm going to grab you and show you a point in time on earth where this same thing we experienced in America has happened before, right? Let's get that in, what is it? Is it Exodus?
Come on, sir. It's Exodus chapter 2, verse 11.
All right, Most High Christ. Let me get there real quick. I see y'all say y'all Isupk is on. Big up. What's going on, Warrior? Shalom, y'all about to
Shalom, how about you? Shabrakatah. What's good, Adawan?
Damn, it's a while, man. Good to have you on.
Kind, sir.
Most High Christ. So let's go ahead and grab that. You said Exodus 2, right? Trooper Canuck?
Come on, sir. 2 and 11.
All right, you got it, Warrior.
The book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren.
Unto who?
His brethren.
His brethren, his people that was of his same bloodline, right? Because Moses grew up under Pharaoh's house, right? Because before Moses was born, Pharaoh put out a decree on all the land that all the Hebrew firstborns must be put to death, right? So what Moses' mother did is put Moses in a basket, and she snuck out and put him in a river, right? So he won't be put to death. And one of Pharaoh's daughter ended up seeing Moses as a baby, and he was raised in that household under Pharaoh, right? So when he became grown enough, he wanted to be amongst his people, right? He understood that Pharaoh and the Egyptians was not his people. That was not his brethren, right? But his brethren was not living how Pharaoh was living. It's not in the same condition or situation as Pharaoh was. So he went out when he was grown to see how his brothers was doing in the land of Egypt, right? Read on.
Khan. And he looked on their burdens.
And he looked on what?
Their burdens.
On their burdens, on their day-to-day tasks, on their living conditions in Egypt, right? Remember, the story goes that the Hebrews was in captivity in the land of Egypt. And this is Moses, being a Hebrew, going out to see how his brothers are living in this land in captivity, right? Read on.
Khan. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren.
One of his brethren. He went out and spied, right? He snuck out of Pharaoh's house, went to the living quarters of the Hebrews. And what he was found to see was an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew. Right? Now let's break this whole scenario down. Right? The Egyptians play what role at this time?
Salakia, they the overseers.
The overseers, the rulers, right? The ones with power, the ones with authority, right? Egypt was the most powerful country at this time. They had all the wealth, right? It was so far advanced than any other civilization at this time, right? Had the statues, the pyramids, all of that stuff, right? There was a powerful country, right? And when Moses went out to spy to see how his brothers was living, he seen the Egyptians who had the power and the authority smiting a Hebrew, right? The word smite means what?
Salakia, to hit.
To hit, right? A Hebrew. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he witnessed police brutality.
Get a brother ahead. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what I was trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? He witnessed police brutality, right? Because the role that the Hebrews played was the role of the slaves. That was the position that they was placed in within that society. They were known as the Hyksos, the shepherd kings, right? They're the ones that build up Pharaoh's house. They're the ones that build up the pyramids, that paved the roads, that worked night and day for little to nothing to make sure that the Egyptians continue to get more powerful and more stronger. Now, don't that sound familiar? Right? We have witnessed countless times here in America of police brutality. Right? Because these police officers, especially these white police officers, the role that they play is the same role that the Egyptians played thousands of years ago. They are the ones that's in rulership. They're the ones that have the power and the authority. They run America. You know what I'm saying? And we seen videos where those same police officers will beat down a black man or choke a black man. You know what I'm saying? Or even a black woman, Hispanic woman, or Hispanic man. All right? The same thing that's happening today in 2023. Guess what? It happened thousands of years ago in the land of Egypt. That's how you know that this book is talking about you, black man. You know what I'm saying? He's witnessing police brutality. Right? Read on.
Khan. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand.
Right. Being that Moses was seeing his brother being beat down by this overseer, by this officer, right? He was moved with so much compassion that he took it upon himself to slay this Egyptian, right? To put him to death. Now, I'm not saying we have to do the same thing that Moses did, because even when Moses did this, right? If when we're gonna read on and get the understanding of it, right? It did not liberate the Hebrews, right? But he was moved with compassion and seeing his brother being beat down by these Egyptians, right? He knew it wasn't right. Right? He knew that this wasn't supposed to be going down. His people are in bondage. And seeing them being beat down by the people that put them in bondage compelled him to make a decision and take action within his own hands. Right? Read on.
Kind. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together.
Now, this is a different situation now. The first day when he went out to see what's going on, he witnessing police brutality. His people being oppressed. Right? Now, the second day when he went out, he's witnessing a different scenario. Now he's seeing 2 Hebrews in combat against each other. 2 of the same kind of people that is of his bloodline, that's his brethren, are fighting against each other, right? Read on.
Kind. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou fellow?
Right. Why are y'all fighting against each other? Right? Y'all both are the same bloodline. All right. Now think about it. That's the same thing that's going on today. Even when they put out the video of them beating a black man or even killing a black man, right? They always use that one excuse to justify it. What's that one excuse that we often hear all the time? The number one excuse that these police supporters and America, proud to be American supporters always use. Go ahead, Officer Isupk.
They say, what about black on black crime?
There you go. All right. That's what we always hear. Right? What about black on black crime? Well, look how y'all treat each other. Look how much y'all kill each other. Right? And they come up with so many fake stats and false charts about black on black crime or violence within our communities. Right? Oftentimes, all of that is lies, man. You know what I'm saying? It's fake news, if I can quote an oppressor. You know what I'm saying? It's all fake news, man. You know what I'm saying? The numbers, yes, they are pretty high within our community, right? Should there be violence going on, being that we are the chosen people of God, right? But in reality, in the real world, violence is going to happen. It's going to happen, right? And even being the chosen people of God, right? There's even laws that can prohibit that, right? Because it's not like, you won't ever have a problem with a black man or somebody that's of your kind. Problems may come about, but we have ways, being the righteous people of God, on how to deal with those problems, right? Not act as if they're not gonna ever come about, or they're not gonna ever, happen within our communities. But when they do happen, we know how to nip it in the bud, the righteous way. You know what I'm saying? Or we even have laws to where even if you do get in a scuffle, even if you do fight, right? There is laws implemented, right? Written of in Deuteronomy, in Leviticus and Exodus, that we know how to still show brotherhood after you got in that scuffle. Still know how to show sisterhood after you got in the fight. All right. If I'm not mistaken, there's a law where it's written, if you harm somebody in a fight, a brother, an Israelite in a fight, to the point where you injure him to where he can't work the next day, then that same man will have to cover his costs that he lost during that work day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? You might have a problem with somebody, but yeah, he still has to look out for him, right? Being the righteous people of God. You know what I'm saying? And our oppressor will always flip the narrative, right, to make it seem like you are inherently violent as a people. That it's your fault, you're the problem, You know what I'm saying? It is okay for them to harm you. It's okay for them to shoot you down in the streets because this crazy myth of black on black crime, right? So that's what we're going to tackle in today's class, right? If I could read some of y'all comments as well. Sister said, y'all kill each other, right? That's exactly what they be saying. Brotherhood will sell that. Damn right. Right? Imagine if we put it as law. If we put brotherhood as law, love as law, not just a feeling or just because you want to when you feel like it, but we made it a obligation to take care of one another. Right? This book, we are bound to follow the laws and the commandments that's written of in this book. Right? This book has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with just emotion and how you feel as an individual. But as a group and as a whole, the Lord commanded us that we exercise brotherhood and sisterhood amongst our nation. Right? These other nations, they don't understand that. They don't have the records or the proper understanding of these records. That's why they tell you the laws is done away with. You know what I'm saying? And these other nations, they don't exercise brotherhood amongst their own at all. These Russians is killing the Ukrainians by the thousands right now. Bombing them. All right, you got North Korea versus South Korea. You got Taiwan against the Republic of China. You got all these people fighting against their own. All right, but when it comes to black people, they make it seem like it's just, inherently black. We're just barbaric people, uncivilized, and this is all we know is to be violent. You know what I'm saying? When that is not true, right? Let's drop that. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 54 real quick.
Okay.
All right, you got that word.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you
Mm-hmm.
and very delicate.
Right. At one point, this is how we used to view each other as brothers. Right? We had love for one another. Right? This is not how we are inherently. We're not just a violent people by nature. You know what I'm saying? Black people are the most loving and compassionate people on this earth. So much so, when your oppressors shoot you down in the streets, you are the first one to forgive them. You're the one that makes sure that they're comfortable in that courthouse and cry with them and hug them. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes with conflict amongst our own, right, we lose that compassion. And I'm going to show you in this class that majority of that is not no fault of your own, black people. It's because of the society that you raised in, right? The internal racism that you grew up in, right, is pushing you to hate your own. You view your brother in the lens of your oppressor. That's why you so quick to harm each other. But don't nobody want to blame it on the oppressor. Don't nobody want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get all of the lies and dispel all of that. All right? Continue on.
All right, cool. His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His eyes shall be what?
Evil toward his brother.
Right. It shall be evil towards his brother. Right? When Moses was bringing this out, right? When Moses is bringing this out, he gave this out as a forewarning unto Israel to let them know that if you keep God's commandments, you're going to be above every nation on this earth. You're going to get nothing but blessings. All the good things on this earth is going to be rightfully belonging to you, right? And if you read from 16 on down, he tells us if we don't keep the commandments, these are all the curses You know what I'm saying? AKA all the punishments that's gonna come to pass if you don't keep God's commandments, right? And one of the punishments is our people committing acts of violence towards each other, right? And the reason why we're reading this, it shows you that this is not how we always was from before, right? This is happening because we're turning away from God's commandments, from God laws. Like I mentioned, there's so many laws written up in this Bible that either prohibit us from committing violence against each other or even continue to show love towards each other after we committed acts of violence towards each other. You dig what I'm saying? Like all of that is written for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to exercise brotherhood, to keep this nation together, to view each other as the tender and delicate one, to have love for each other. You know what I'm saying? But because we deviate from that and we're following another custom is the reason why, right? Let me get Leviticus 20 and 23 real quick. What's going on, Officer Nashak? Shalom. Yahabashim Ashabrakata. What's going on, Warrior? Good to have you on, man. I don't know if you can hear me. Most High in Christ.
Sorry about Salaki, sir. I had it on mute.
Nah,
Y'all
damn right, man. All right. If somebody can grab me Leviticus 20 and 23.
Come.
All right. We're following another culture, another custom that's not of our own. Somebody said they got that?
Okay.
All right, you got it, boy.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 23. And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation.
Of the manners of the nations, right? What is this talking about? What is Moses explaining to the children of Israel? Who is the nations? What is he saying? I thought we was all one, y'all. Somebody help me out. What is this talking about?
It's lucky, sir.
Go ahead. I'll let Trooper not go first.
He's talking about everybody else that's not Black, Hispanic, or Native American.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. What does it mean not to walk in their manners?
Not to do as they do, not to celebrate their holidays, and not to follow their customs.
Right. Right? Because their manners are what? What is the manners of your oppressor, the Europeans that conquered this land? So-called founding fathers. What was their manners? Right?
So lucky.
Go ahead.
Full of wickedness, murder, death, rape, robbery, identity theft, slavery.
God. That's how they behave themselves. Uncivilized, without law of God. That's their manners by nature. Wicked, brute beasts of this earth. Right? And it didn't stop with just the Europeans selling over here and bringing slaves. It continued on even during the 1900s. Right? The manners of the Irish immigrants that came over here. What was the island that is called? Or the voyage, the boat that is called? I mean, Austin the Shock was bringing this out not too long ago.
Salaki, sir. I was bringing it out.
Yeah, man. The boat that they was on, man.
Oh, the Mayflower.
The Mayflower. You know what I'm saying? The Mayflower. You know what I'm saying? All those Irish and Italian and Jewish immigrants that came on the Mayflower and that was not, subject to the same circumstance as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you know what I'm saying? But yet found themselves in poverty, right? What manner did they behave themselves when they came over here? Right? Did they conduct themselves as upright citizens and found honest jobs to support the needs of their family?
Sir.
Not at all. What do you think a black man learned to be a gangster from?
Oh, God.
All right, where you think a black man learned to be a criminal from? All right, and this is as early as the 1920s. Well, how was black people behaving in the 1920s?
Huh.
Right? You can dig what I'm saying? If
Come,
we look
come.
at look at the viewpoint of American history, right? And we look at the timeline around the 1920s. We see all this violence going on within the Irish community, within the Italian community, within the Jewish community, right? These mobsters, the mafia, and all of that. And in the midst of all of that transpiring during the 1920s, what was black people doing? Right? Who can tell me what black people was notoriously doing during the 1920s?
Salaki
Go ahead.
said, well, they was building up their own communities, supporting each other, building up their own cities.
Right. And name me the most famous one.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
There you go. Right? We understood that we had to stick together. And by us sticking together and not joining these other nations and following after their manners, guess what? We was able to build up thriving communities. We was able to build up places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, right? We just went out for the Juneteenth event. Brothers was telling us how they had the family history existed in Eatonville, right here in Orlando, and how the community was back then. Right? Communities in North Carolina, up north in Harlem. During the early 19th, right? I think it's called the Harlem Renaissance, if I'm not mistaken. Right? The first millionaire in America was a black woman from Harlem. If I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was jiving, we was up on the move, jazz and all that stuff, still being productive, bringing wealth within our communities, taking care of each other, looking out for each other. We was not the ones out there trying to fight against the cops so they can sell alcohol illegally. We was out there trying to get a boatload of drugs to land on the dock to sell on the streets. We was out there with Tommy guns and suits shooting down the rival family for cutting us short on the trade deals and extorting businesses within our community. That wasn't our behavior. That wasn't our manner. All that stuff that I just explained right now was the behavior of your oppressor, man. And we just read in the Bible what Moses told and commanded the children of Israel to walk in the manner of the other nations, man. And if you ever want to understand black on black crime, this is the root of it all. If you ever want to understand violence within our community, this is the root of it all. Us patterning ourselves after the manner of the other nations. It's not because you're inherently violent, black man. It's not just because you're just violent by nature and you know how to control yourself. Because you're following an uncontrollable beast called the white man. All right? You patterning your success off of his success. And the way he became successful was not because he was witty and smart and clever and wholesome. He became successful from slavery, murder, bloodshed, and robbery. And that's not for you, black man. You're not going to become successful that way. Your success is found in the Bible by serving God, by sticking together, by loving each other. That worked in Tulsa. Didn't it work during the 1920s? We knew Whitey was the enemy. We knew he was out there lynching niggas. So we had no choice to stick with each other. And we had airports, hospitals, movie theaters. If that worked then, what makes you think it can't work now? sticking together is the only means of success for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Everything else is nothing but failure. All right. Any points our brothers want to add as well too, Salaki? Go ahead.
If I may,
Go ahead.
sir.
Get down.
What you said so heavy about, them being lawless. Okay? Because even their so-called laws are evil. Like their law is you can be gay. You can have an alternative lifestyle. Their law is you can smoke, marijuana. You can smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Their law is there's no problem. There's no law against a brother, or a man sleeping with another man's wife. You go in there, you go into court with that, and they be like, what's the problem? Did you make her unhappy? You know what I mean? Like, so they are lawless. And we are lawless without God's laws. If we're following their laws, we're still lawless.
Right.
We need to follow God's laws, sir. And that's
Damn right. Damn right, man. Damn right. Let's continue on reading God's law. For you Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Yes,
this is what's meant for us. Go ahead, get down, Ward. Who was I think Trooper Kadak was reading.
Sir, did you want me to stay in Leviticus?
Baba Gashab, you can finish that out.
Sir. We was in 20 and 23, right?
2023.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 23. But I have selected, and ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation which I cast out before you. For they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them.
I do what?
Abhorred them.
Abhorred them. Right? The beauty about what we're reading about in Leviticus is there's a whole slew of laws that's written prior to Moses even mentioning this. Right? There's laws that's prohibit us, like Isupk said, for us to be gay or homosexual, for us to commit adultery, right? There's all type of laws that the Lord told us not to follow, right? And the reason being is because they were doing this prior to us arriving on that land, right? This is how they behave themselves. There's even laws that tells us as a man not to get a shape up. Who can tell me the reason why? Except for, of course, because God says so. But what's the spirit behind, right? That a man should not mar the edges of his beard, you know what I'm saying, and of his hair as well. Who can tell me the spirit behind that? Go ahead, also in the shot.
So the spirit is the Lord wants you to be holy and separate. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't want you to look, not even look like them. Don't, like you read earlier, don't do the things that they do. Like the Lord wants you to see, he wants to see you, you know what I mean, stand out.
Damn right.
We got full beards.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got a head full of hair. We don't have, our whole head shaved except one little spot in the middle. You know what I mean? The Lord wants us to be separate, different. Okay, don't go a whoring after their ways. You know what I mean?
Damn right, man. Damn right. You know what I'm saying? The Lord wanted us to be so different from the other nations and not to follow in their manners, so much so that he told us not to even cut the corners of your hairs.
Right.
Not even to make a hairline. You know why? Because that was the manner of the other nations. That's how the Egyptians groomed themselves. Right? If you ever seen the mummy tomb of the casket of Pharaoh, and you see that long part hanging from their chin and all that stuff, right? This is how they groom themselves. Like they will shave themselves and all of that stuff, shave off their beard. Right? When Joseph was brought to Pharaoh's house, they commanded him to shave. Right? This is how they were. Right? And the Lord was against that. Not only was the Lord was against how they behaved, he was also against how they looked. Right? The Lord called for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to be completely different from anybody on this earth. But by us following their customs and letting go of God's laws and following the ways of these other nations is what's causing us to be so violent. We're violent because they're violent, man. And we're following a violent people with violent laws and violent customs. They got laws that allow you to kill a baby before it's even born. Now tell me that ain't violent. Only a beast would think like that. Somebody from a horror movie. All right? But in our laws, as the chosen people of God, abortion is a sin. You're not supposed to kill an unborn child. A child at that, let alone a child, you know what I'm saying? But you're not even supposed to be killing an unborn child. But following the customs and the nature of these other nations, guess what? You start killing by the tune of 500,000. And all you're doing is repeating what he tells you to do about it. You say, my body, my choice. That's what justifies you in your actions. And you know where you heard that from? You heard that from your oppressor. You're just parroting what he tells you to say. And you don't think other things rub off on us? Like black on black violence and all these things? You know what I'm saying? That comes from the culture of the white man. Right? Being a gangster and being violent and being a criminal is white culture. All right? It's not a badge of masculinity being emotional and violent. That's not what masculinity is. You know what I'm saying? A real man know how to retain his anger and will display it when it's necessary. I'm not saying to be a punk and be a pushover, you know what I'm saying? But if you being a criminal and being emotionally violent, guess what? You are no different from your oppressor, man. Because that's how he is. And as a man, you don't have to go out there and harm another black man to prove your manhood. All you're doing is proving that you have white supremacy in your mind. All right? Any more on that, Trooper Canuck? If you could, you can drop that. Can I get Ecclesiasticus 13 and 15, Baba Kasha? Somebody can grab me that.
Slacky, sir.
Go ahead, Soldier.
Oh no, that was it on that Slacky.
God, no swear word. If somebody can grab me Ecclesiasticus 13 and 15. All right, we're going to dispel all the myths that's out there. All right, now, of course, don't get it confused. All right, am I trying to Con, you got that for me, word?
Con, sir.
Con, if I could, real quick, I just want to mention this, right? Of course, I'm not, dismissing the fact that there is violence within our communities. Of course, we already know that. Right now, is it at the rate as the society is saying is happening? Hell no, it's not. You know what I'm saying? But is there violence? Oh, yes, there is violence. You know what I'm saying? Now, do we speak against the violence? Yes, we do. Right? We're not for any violence against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, especially amongst each other. Right? But the thing is, in order to cure that violence and to heal it and to get rid of the violence within our community, we have to understand where the root of the issue stems from. And we have to take away all the myths and the lies that we taught that cause you to be inherently racist against yourself. right? And that eternal racism will cause you to have hatred for another black man and to lash out on him for no reason, because you've been pushed and programmed a lie all your life that you're just inherently violent, you're mad by nature, and black people can never get it together. And look at us, look, see, we don't know how to act. That's why we can't get too many black people together. Nah, that's not real. You know what I'm saying? Because when they get together, guess what they do as well too? They commit acts of violence against each other as well too, right? The Las Vegas shooter was at a rock and roll concert, right? A country concert or something like that, full of them, full of their own kind. And what that cat did, went out there on the balcony and slaughtered, what, 50 people? Massacred 50 people at a country concert. So you can't say, well, you know, when black people get together, we don't know how to act. Well, guess what? When they get together, they don't know how to act even worse. You know what I'm saying? And we learn that behavior from them, right? Everybody kills within their proximity. Everybody kills the people that's closest to them, or do crime towards people that's closest to them, right? It is no different when it comes to black people, right? Somebody says Salakia. My fault. Go ahead, Ward.
I don't know if somebody said Salaki before me.
Yeah, I think I heard somebody, but it's no sweat. You go ahead.
Oh, okay, Khan on Khan, sir. Yeah, Salaki. What I was gonna say is that blacks and Hispanics have suffered all kinds of injustice in this country for over 400 years, and we never stormed the Capitol.
Right.
The closest thing we did was march, a 1,000,000-man march, which was peaceful.
Right.
They got upset because Trump didn't win the election, and they stormed the Capitol, threatening to kill people and all.
Right.
That goes to show you the difference between the way they act, like you were saying, sir, and the way the Lord's children act.
Mm-hmm. Damn right, man. That's a great example, man. You know what I'm saying? This is your people that you look for political guidance. You know what I'm saying? You look towards them for, you know, trying to legislate a cause. When they don't get their way, right? They don't go out and sit in the voting booth and be at the polls all day. They're ready to kick somebody's door down when they don't get their way. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we cannot be the same way. Because let a nigga would done the same thing that happened on January 6th, right? There would have been nothing but dead people at the steps of the Capitol.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there would have been. Nothing but dead black bodies at the steps of the Capitol if we would have done the same thing. You know what I'm saying? What we have to do is separate and stick together. Find out the manners of our forefathers, the culture and the customs of our forefathers. We'll build a new Black Wall Street. Call it nigga Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? Make it better than it was before. You know what I'm saying? This is what we need for ourselves to maintain our nation, right? Somebody else said Salakia? My fault.
Khan, I was just telling you I had the scripture you asked for, sir.
Okay, Khan. If anybody else wanted to make out a point, you can go ahead and read that for me, Warrior.
Khan, sir. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, right?
Khan, chapter 13, verse 15.
Khan. Every beast loveth his like, and
read
every
that one more
man,
time.
every beast loveth his like.
Every beast loveth his like. Read on.
And every man loveth his neighbor.
Every man loveth his neighbor, right? It's making a comparison between the two. Now let's examine nature, because it mentioned beast, right? When it's talking about beast, it's talking about what? Animals, right? Let's examine nature, the animal kingdom. Stuff that's natural, right? That's what nature is, right? We go outside and see the beasts and how they conduct themselves. Would you ever find a hyena hanging out with a rabbit? Would you ever see a wolf hanging out together with a sheep? Would you ever see a lion together with a gazelle. Has anybody ever seen that before?
La, sir.
You'll never find that, right? Correct? Because what is the category or the contrast between those two? Right? From a gazelle and a lion, what is it?
Predator and prey.
Give the brother a hint. All right? One is a predator and one is a prey. All right? Now, if we switch the same thing towards mankind, guess what? It's no different. Somebody on this earth has been a predator for over 400 years. And somebody has been left just to be a prey, to be on the receiving end of the predator. Right? And for survival's sake, every beast understand that they got to stick with their own. You're going to see gazelles with gazelles, lions with lions. You're going to see blackbirds flying with blackbirds. You're going to see doves flying with doves, eagles with eagles, fox with fox. By nature, they see that they're common, so they're going to be around each other. You know what I'm saying? Well, mankind is no different. By nature, you want to be around nigga because you a nigga. You shouldn't feel guilty about it. It shouldn't be wrong to say that black people need to stick together. It shouldn't be wrong to say that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should only deal with each other. It's natural. Because guess what? There will be no country like China, like Russia, like Germany, Spain, if nobody want to maintain and sustain the interests of their own people. If that was the case, all these countries would say, the hell with our borders, the hell with our government. Let's just all be all one and not maintain the interests of the people of this land. You know what's going to eventually happen? Everybody on that land is going to fail. They're going to start to lose out on resources because they're so spread out. So in order to maintain their nation, they take care of the people of that nation first. That's how they become a wealthy country. Well, black people, guess what? By nature and by our liberty and our God-given right, we need to do the same. They only tell you that lie, that we're all one. But in their country, they don't have that same philosophy. Chinese take care of Chinese. Japanese take care of Japanese. Korean take care of Korean. Russian take care of Russian. And so forth and so on. Well, it's time for blacks to take care of blacks. It's time for Hispanics to take care of Hispanics. Native Indians to take care of Native Indians. And by separating from these other nations. Not following after their manners, the way they behave, and being violent like that. Right? Read on. Or any point y'all brothers want to add as well, too. So you can go and read on.
Verse 16. All flesh consorteth according to kind.
There you go. Like, this is common sense the Bible is giving us right now. Like, you go against this, you're going against nature. It's just natural for somebody to be around somebody that has the common interest as them, that kind of looks like them, that resembles them. It's natural to do that. Even in the animal world. Everywhere on this earth, you will find that. Read on.
And a man will cleave to his like.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for 16. You want me to continue on, sir?
What 17 say?
17. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
Come on now. Then we did just ask this question earlier. Right? You will not find a wolf hanging with a lamb. The reason being is because of what? Because one is the predator and one is a prey. If you ever get a lamb and a fox in a cage together, guess what? That lamb is going to die. That wolf is going to prey on that lamb. And us being in this society with our oppressor, you know what I'm saying, we are sheep for the slaughter. We are dying out here. And majority of these deaths are not coming by the hands of another black man. Because ain't no black man out there hanging niggas by the tune of 100. Right? Ain't no black man out there doing a whole massacre in the black community and killing everybody all at once. All right? The greatest act of violence that was committed against the black community will always forever be slavery. No black man can ever trump that. But we don't realize it because they taught you and sold you the myth of black on black crime. Right? Did you know that phrase was first published, if I'm not mistaken, around the 1970s on I think it was a newspaper that was put out. Was it a newspaper or a magazine? Right? I want to say like Ebony or something like that. It was published though, right? And it wasn't published until the 1970s though. Meaning prior to that, that category never existed. Right? Black on black crime was never a thing. It was never a stat to follow by. All right, that came about years later here in America. Right, but you'll never hear the stats for Irish and Irish crime. Right, you'll never hear that Jewish and Jewish crime. Meanwhile, Lucky Lefty was killing all the people in the damn Chicago or wherever he was from. You know what I'm saying? Al Capone and all these damn criminals. But ain't no stat for Italian on Italian crime.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Colonel, if I may, sir.
Go ahead, soldier.
I mean, that's so heavy and right and true. Like, okay, separate a nation or a country. China. You don't think Chinese people over there killing Chinese people?
Right.
But they're not. It's world news report. Chinese crime or Chinese crime. No, that's not happening. Because there's going to be disputes in families.
Right.
Okay. So that, you know, it's just the plot that has been consistently pushed to make black people look like the criminal, to make us look like the uncivilized people when they're the one. The God of the universe gave blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He gave Noah the first civilization. He made us civilized people.
Damn right.
Everybody else is behind the 8 ball. We are the civilized people. All we got to do is come back to these laws. The law, this is what makes us civilized. You know what I mean? That's why the rest of the earth is uncivilized.
Damn right. Damn right, soldier. You know what I'm saying? It's even recorded in world history. Right. The first Caucasian civilization did not exist until the Romans and the Greeks.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but there was many civilizations that existed prior to the Romans and the Greeks coming on the scene. They didn't learn how to be civilized until years, centuries after the other civilizations that existed prior.
Colonel, if I may, sir.
These beasts don't know how to act. Go ahead, soldier.
No, just one thing I thought about this is so crazy. I thought about this earlier today. That movie, The Borgiers. Mm-hmm. Where they show, you know, the Pope and Caesar Borgia and all that, his family and this, that, and the third. They depict a scene in that series where, like, it was a big deal for them. They were eating with spoons or whatever. Or forks or whatever. Like, they was like, this is a spoon or a fork or whatever. We've been doing that. Mm-hmm. You know, we already had spoons and forks and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, their code, everything they do is based off of us. Even today, you want to be, you want to dress nice, you want to be like this or like that. Look at the Negroes. What are they doing? You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
But at the end of the day, we're the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, sir.
It's ridiculous, man.
Oh,
That is
God.
crazy. They didn't even know what a spoon was, huh?
Oh, God. They ate with their hands. They were still eating with their hands. They had just stopped eating it with their hands, right before, this seizure Bourgier era.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They were still eating with their hands, sir.
Look at that. You know what I'm saying? And this is the people that we mimic and follow.
Come.
Right? As if there's some great wittiness about them. There's nothing great about them, man. You know what I'm saying? We are becoming just like them, right? Like the example of the predator and the prey, right? Like imagine this: you put a group of sheep and a group of wolf in the same pen, right? By means of survival, imagine one of the sheep think to themselves, "Well, let me disguise myself as a wolf." Right? So he puts on the wolf fur, the wolf fur and the skin and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? In order for it to survive. Because he understands that for the sheep not to get eaten, it has to look like a wolf. It has to act like a wolf. Right? And with our people, right?
Wow.
We mixing with the wolves, we mixing with the predators, and for us not to get slaughtered, we dress ourselves as the predator. Now we put on his mannerism, his clothes, his attire, and we even behave like him. Another nigga step on your shoe, you ready to kill him because he's just a nigga, like your predator taught you he was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When he do something that tells, say something bad to you, you ready to jump on him because he's just a nigger, like your predator told you he was.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And some of y'all Israelite groups, this is a sidebar, you know what I'm saying, is the white man's parrot, man. You call a black person, like you try to defame a black person to be a nigger, like that's the most evilest thing to say because your oppressor taught you that was the most evilest thing to say.
Right.
Right? So you parrot that and call him a nigger, you know what I'm saying? Because you look at him less than what he really is, man.
Right. If I may, sir.
Go ahead, soldier.
That's man, you nailing it. You know what I mean? Like nigger is just, derives from the word nagger, right? So now your oppressor tells you being black is a horrible thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Now we look in the mirror and to be black, it's just you see yourself, and it's a horrible thing. You hate yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
We definitely you're right. So like whatever the oppressor tells us what's good, that's what we believe. You know what I'm saying? We need to know this book tells us what's good. This book tells us what's bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Moses told us what was good and bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's you're so right, so right, sir.
Right. Without it, man, we're gonna become the predators of our own. You know what I mean? Let me read some of these comments, right? The sister said, the white man is violent and evil from birth. They kill as kids. Kill the mom, kill the dad, even the dog get it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, and those news lines or those stories are never broadcast, right? They're never put those on the forefront. All right. I mean, we got websites, and I'm pretty sure these are, agent websites, you know what I'm saying, that always put black people in a derogatory perception. You know what I'm saying? Like websites like World Star and what's that other one, man? There's World Star, one of them. You know what I'm saying? There's another one, I can't even think of the name of it. You know what I'm saying? They got these websites out there. What was that?
Shade Room, sir.
Shade Room, that's what it is. The Shade Room. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure these websites are backed by some European out there. You know what I'm saying? And we see these always pushed on the forefront as if black people is just animalistic. You know what I'm saying? But yet there's a whole bunch of killings going on in the suburbs. Whole bunch of heinous massacres and deaths that's going on in the suburbs, man. In their neighborhoods. Whole family
Right,
get
sir.
unalived. But they don't never put that information out. You know what I'm saying? They love to put you on the forefront as if you just so crazy and uncontrollable, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's far from the truth. We're just lost. That's all. Right? We're putting on the clothing of the predator. We're the sheeps trying to dress like wolves. Right? Atizab said MLK gathered thousands to march on DC and none of them raided any buildings. Right. And they was getting beat down. But the white man don't get a vote go his way. He throw a temper tantrum. You know what I'm saying? He also said, Itazal said, even then they weren't civilized. Right. I know some of these are probably from previous comments we made, but I try to remember that. It says, Itazal, he said, I recommended they game the game Assassin's Creed Origins, right? This is that eventually he starts to believe that he's a wolf, right? And niggas love them websites, right? God, you know what I'm saying? Like we feed into that narrative, to the propaganda, right? We should boycott stupid sites like that. All them dumb World Star and Shade Room is nonsense, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to go on a website to see how these crackers behave. That's what I want to see. Right? You know what I'm saying? Give me the whiteonwhitecrime.com. You know what I'm saying?
If I may, sir.
Go ahead, soldier.
You just gotta watch shows like, oh man, what's them shows like 40 all right, you know, they have these shows where they show you like these crimes that are committed and you know how they solved it and this, that, and the third, real life crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, sir, Esau, they use family members as, how can I say it? They use family members basically as checks. Wives killing husbands for an insurance check. Husbands killing wives for an insurance check.
Right.
And it is a what do I call it? It's an epidemic in the white community. They're killing each other for an insurance check.
Right.
So I tell you what, it's almost scary. Once you see Negroes start insuring one another, man, look at you trying to be like, brothers are one. We're gonna be looking for a paycheck pretty soon over on your life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that is an epidemic in the white community. Them killing one another for insurance money. And it's not talked about. It's so much of it going on, but yet it's not being talked about. The insurance company isn't, you know what I mean, like in an uproar or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Because the people that own the insurance company is doing the same damn thing. You know
right.
I mean?
God, damn, that's crazy, man.
So much. White on white crime is an epidemic in the white community. I'm telling you, sir.
Listen, they're a threat to society. I don't feel safe.
Come.
They're a threat to society.
That's so true. Because listen, I was just talking to a brother on the job site, and he said, "I don't want to go to Walmart." You know what I mean? From all the white people that go in there and kill up people. Like, I know there has to be millions of black people that feel this way. We don't even want to go to the store anymore, sir. We're afraid for our lives. We are actually afraid out here for our lives, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're the predator, you know, according to, you know, society. But they're doing all the killing. I don't get it. We're dying. They're doing all the killing, but we're the predator. We're the super predator.
Right.
Jesus, man.
That's so heavy, man. You know what I'm saying? Our people rush to the voting booth to get this old creepy Joe in office when he's the one that pushed the crime bill during the 1990s.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, he went out on the council floor and called black people predators.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what Hillary Clinton called us super predators.
Super predators.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
called young children.
Yes. And that's who she was talking about, young black men.
Mm-hmm.
Said we're super predators.
God. They little kids. You know what I'm
There's
saying? But
nothing more
meanwhile,
super
like you
predator.
mentioned, they go out, kill, shoot up Walmarts, shoot up schools, and everybody sympathize and say, well, where is the mental health?
Right.
How were they mentally? Oh, what was the love that they was getting in the household? Were they treated fairly? Oh, his heart was broken in such and such time, so that's what, you know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what they go to. As soon as it's going down, that's exactly what they go to.
God, when they're the super predators, man.
Yes, sir.
Lucky.
Go ahead, Soda.
And if I may, sir, y'all making such a heavy point right now that they sympathize with the murderers and the rapists and the robbers, and when they go commit these mass shootings, they go and say, oh well, he's mentally challenged, or his parents just went through a divorce, so he's not emotionally stable. But then when they mess around and kill a brother or Hispanic or Native, they say, well, he been arrested for jaywalking 12 times, and or he has a criminal background. They go bring up the criminal background of a black person instead of saying like this was injustice, or saying sticking to the reason why this man got killed. Oh, it's like, well, he deserved it. He did time for selling dope 20 years ago. Like that doesn't like the fact that he's being unjustly killed or murdered. That's just justifies, because he has a background. It justifies the killing.
Yeah,
Like he was a criminal anyway.
That's exactly spot on. What's the narrative each time something like that happened? You know what I'm saying? It's so unfortunate, man. Like even the support that they get from their own counterparts. Like we don't even have that same support for the victim. You know what I'm saying? Like the black man that gets shot down, they defame him, and we get caught up in that, you know, the defamation that they put out there, and thinking that it's true, that he probably did deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, their counterparts, on the other hand, is making sure that the perpetrator is taken care of if he gets sentenced. This whole GoFundMe is filled with millions. You know what I'm saying? But the nigga that got murdered, you know what I'm saying, got nothing in his bank account for his funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these pastors, such whores, you know what I'm saying? These pastors and these politicians get on the mic, right? And don't even push for the support of that family. You know what I'm saying? And finding justice for that family. All they're worried about is taking care of their own pockets, man. You know what I'm saying? And they look for a payout before they can get a new car, a new house, and all of that bull crap. But they don't take care of that family at all, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't take care of their pain and their needs after their loved one has been put to death. You know what I'm saying? There's a double standard in society. And all we're doing is calling that double standard out. Right? This is the reality that we're living amongst in America. Right? The ISUPK is just a big mirror. That's what we are. You know what I'm saying? We are a mirror that's overshadowing America. Right? And if you look up to it, all you're doing is looking at a reflection of yourself. Right? You tell us that black men should stop killing each other. Well, this is a byproduct of it. You tell us black people should pull themselves by the bootstraps. Right? Take initiative. That's what they often say about black men. We love to sit down and play victim. Well, this is what pulling ourselves by the bootstraps look like. This is what taking initiative look like. It is the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? We are the reflection of the trauma that you perpetuated on us. And the only way for us to fight back is to call you out on your crimes and call you the devil like you deserve to be called. That is our right to call you that, man. Because pulling ourselves by the bootstraps, a black man is not afraid to call you out, man. You know what I'm saying? And we have to realize you are the criminal for us to stop killing each other. Right? Somebody says Salaka.
Come on, sir. Salaka. And that's heavy what you were saying. Like, They want us to, as you say, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. And when we do, and we do finally get something going or get it going together, they always want to be involved. They always got to be a part of it. But they don't want to help. They don't want to like give us help or give us the funds and the resource to do what we need to do to better ourselves. But once we get it going on our own, and once we get some good thing going together and get black people working together with Hispanic people, Native Americans, here they come. They always want to be a part of some shit. It's like, excuse me, French. They always want to be a part of something. They always got to be involved with it, just so they can tear it down from the inside.
Right. Damn right, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? We're going to follow the Bible. And there's some hard truths in there, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. The Bible is not all sunshine and rainbows. The Bible is your reality and your solution to survival. Right? So we're going to read in these scriptures on what we need to do to survive. Right? I think Officer Isupk was reading. If you could continue on, Baba Kasha, from where you left off.
Salaki, sir. If somebody could take over for me, I got to grab this paperwork.
Okay, no sweat. I think Ecclesiastes 13 and 17.
Not on sir.
All right. Let me read these comments real quick. Said true crime. You got it? All right. Let me just read these comments real quick. True Crimes ID Network. Oh, yeah, it's for the white on white crime, huh? Damn right. He said, the sister said, every Renaissance type shows have kings and queens slept with their brothers and sisters, and all the slothful and disgusting ways of the white man show us true white history. Damn right. You know what I'm saying? They make it seem like they are the savior and the righteous of this earth. That's the opposite, right? She also said that they rewrite our so-called history and force it on us as children to believe we are always at the bottom. Damn right. And y'all don't understand psychologically what this does to us as black people, right? We're going to discuss that as well, too. Right? It says we hug the perpetrator. Damn right. And let me read this last comment. Sister said, restoring brotherhood, sisterhood would do away with black on black crime, but that's for us to decipher and do. The white man is the devil in either case. Damn right. Cannot go to your enemy for a solution. He'll never give it to you. All right? Let's go ahead and read that for me real quick, boy.
So you can't forget Law and Order and SVU.
Okay, Law and Order, SVU.
Yeah.
God. Listen,
those are real white collar crimes.
God, the white collar crimes. Listen, them horror movies too depicts the psychological the psyche of the oppressor too. I don't know if y'all pick up on that. These Jason movies, these Freddy Krueger movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if y'all ever felt like this, but I remember at one point there was damn near no black horror movies, right? And I remember like they started coming back to back with black horror movies, and I would always like it would feel weird just watching them, like it don't fit, like I don't know, like I guess because I'm so used to always seeing the murderer as a white man, which is rightfully so as he should be, you know what I'm saying? But seeing it as a black person, it never really fit right with me. You dig what I'm saying? And it dawned on me like this is the psyche of our oppressor. Like when we make movies, you know what I'm saying, it's art. Art is an expression of, you know, your psyche and of yourself. In our movies is art. We're showing, you know, ourselves being happy or, you know, doing this. And movies like The Barbershop, movies like, you know, Friday, movies, you know what I'm saying? We're not out there being serial killers. You know what I'm saying? But your oppressor, in his expressing himself, he's a serial killer and slashing people's head off and haunting people in their dreams. You know what I'm saying? Because he's twisted mentally. You dig what I'm saying? Like your oppressor mentally is not right. And you see it in, you know, the shows that y'all calling out there. But I just wanted to mention that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I wanted what you was talking about earlier, how Esau, when one of his people deviate and kill like a mass shooting or whatever, when they mass shoot their own, they have sympathy for him because in their minds, they all feel that way too. But he just couldn't, for some reason, he was misguided. He was supposed to go kill niggas or something. Or he was supposed, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like that thoughts, that's how they are too. So they can sympathize with I can try to control myself. For some reason, he couldn't control himself. Like, what happened that you couldn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why they, you know, they feel this way towards, you know, what they treat that little young Billy for, you know, oh, he must have, you know, had a bad upbringing for him not to be able to, you know, control it and turn on, you know, why didn't he kill niggas? You know what I mean? Like he went and killed his own kind, you know. He must have had a bad upbringing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mentally, he's not right, you know what I mean? Like, you know, something's wrong, but because they understand it, they're not going to go off and be like, this guy's freaking crazy, because they have the same feelings inside of them. They just
right, because they damn right, because they twisted themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly right, boy. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I'm saying? Like internally, there's something not right about our oppressor, man.
Yes, sir.
You have to realize that, black people. He's showing you who he is the day by day. But you don't want to believe it. We're going to read why you don't want to believe it and the psychological effects that you have from it, black people. Right? If you could go ahead and get down, Trooper Canuck.
Kind. Ecclesiasticus 13 and 17. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
Mm-hmm.
So the sinner with the godly.
So who?
So the sinner with the godly.
What is a sinner? What is sin?
It's the breaking of the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right. And there is laws that tells us how we should act on this earth. Right? And you have people who will tell you contrary to what God has established for us to follow. God said not to eat pork. There's people on this earth that tell you that pork is the other white meat. God would tell you not to live an alternative lifestyle. I mean, not to be a homosexual. Some people will tell you that's just an alternative lifestyle. Love is love. You can do what you want to do on this earth. One life to live. Right? Society promotes or persuades you or seduce you to sin. Right? Because their role on this earth was not to have God's laws. So they carry themselves out as the sinner. Well, guess who was supposed to play the godly on this earth? All right. This is one thing black people will never visualize themselves as, huh? All right. Godly? Niggas is the godly. All right. We call ourselves kings, queens, and peace king, peace, all that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. I understand the empowerment behind it. You know what I'm saying? But can we think of ourselves as the godly? As holy on this earth? Because guess what? That is the role that you were supposed to play. And the Bible just said, what does the godly have with the sinner? Because they have nothing in common. Your oppressor is a sinner. Because he was never given these records to follow. And he don't follow them at all. And you was given these records to be the godly on this earth. To look as the chosen people of God. Holy on this earth. But we have been degraded to the most basest form ever, following after this oppressor. All right, let's drop that. Let me get 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Right, like, slavery movies are black horror movies. God. Somebody said Salaki.
Yeah, I was finna say the only horror movie we had that was in our favor was Candyman.
Right. God, I think
He was killing white folks.
God, I forgot. Yeah, God, the comment Itazal mentioned the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They're right. Like Candyman was like all we had. You know what I'm saying? And he was out there, slaughtering the oppressor. Right. But this oppressor, he has a whole catalog of twisted, demented serial killers. Right. And people dress like them. And, every once a year they talk like him, act like them. You know what I'm saying? He makes his twisted nature the norm for society. You dig what I'm saying? Like nobody questions. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it. But like I be thinking like these movies is a psyche to your oppressor. You know what I'm saying? And he's showing you how twisted he is. Like, who could think of concepts like this? Like some beast ripping your stomach and eating your heart, and like only you gotta have nightmares all your life. You know what I'm saying? That you would be thinking like that. You know what I mean? Like we're just so cool of a people. We don't even like our minds don't go that far unless it's going against our oppressor or getting some get back. You know what I'm saying? Like we just want to, a plain man dwelling in tents. That's who we are. Your oppressor, the rush, you know what I'm saying, of the blood gushing out and the rush of that's just how he is. I don't know. That's just, maybe I don't know. But yeah, God, Candyman was a good movie. Itazal said they'll look at you like you got your head removed from your shoulders. Right, man. You know what I'm saying? We are the godly, right? Who got that Thessalonians real quick?
I didn't hear you calling out. What was it, sir?
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3.
Okay, I got it. The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 2 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Let no man deceive you.
Right. Now, what we're about to read right now is what's in the psyche of black people. Right? This is the psychological effects of us without an identity. Right? What we're about to read right now. Right? Go ahead.
Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Let no man deceive you by any means.
Mm-hmm.
For that day shall not come.
Right, the day of the Lord, right? Read on.
Except there come a falling away first. And that man of sin be revealed.
And that what?
Man of sin be revealed.
Now, we just broke it down who the man of sin was, right? Who is this man of sin? Right? It's not a specific man or individual man. It's talking about a kind of man. Who is the man of sin? I want to see if somebody in the chat can answer this. My bad. I know y'all brothers probably know. Somebody in the chat can answer me who is the man of sin written of in 2 Thessalonians. All right.
Just came in, sir. It's lucky.
Yeah, I guess it's time's sake, right? Y'all go ahead if y'all want to give the answer.
Oh shit, come on. I mean, that is who we've been talking about all night.
Mm-hmm.
The oppressor, the wolf.
Damn right.
You know what I mean?
Damn right.
That he has been, he needs to be revealed. Because right now we think he is the civilized man on the earth. We think he's wonderful and great. We think, you know what I mean, he is the ending and the beginning. You know what I mean?
Right.
He has all the money, sir.
Right.
He went to the moon. You know what I mean? We think that, this man that needs to be revealed that this scripture is talking about is right now, we think he portrays himself as, the great of the earth. And we, he's telling us we are the scum of the earth. So yeah, he needs to be revealed.
Damn right. Damn right. And here in the ISUPK, guess what? We're gonna do some revealing.
Come
Right?
on.
And what's in the psyche of black people, we don't understand. And so like, y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir.
We don't understand who the man of sin is. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? The coming of the day of our Lord, our King, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, goes so he must be revealed, right? In order for us to understand that this is exactly right on who we saying it is, we'll continue on with the scripture. The scripture will break down and tell you that this man that we mentioned is exactly the man of sin, right? Read on.
Come on, sir. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
The son of what?
Perdition.
Destruction, right? Read on.
Verse 4. Who oppresseth and exalted himself above all that is called God.
Now, by understanding this is understanding the psyche of black people, right? And why we look at ourselves as less than, or why we look at ourselves as inferior, right? Because the son of sin has not been revealed unto you, especially not in that Christian church, right? As a matter of fact, you're worshiping the son of sin in that Christian church, right? You are worshiping the man of sin in that Christian church, right? Because there is but one man that exalts himself above God. You know how he does it? First, by calling himself God and changing the words of God and making what he says to be right and true rather than what God says to be right and true. All right? Read on.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 4. Who oppresseth and exalted himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temples of God.
Right. He as God sitteth in the temples of God. He portrays himself like God, right? So that way he can control you and control your mind on how to think towards God, right? You think God is passive because your oppressor taught you to think that God is passive, right? You think God can forgive you for your sins no matter what you do, you know what I'm saying? Because your oppressor has taught you to think that way about God, right? Your oppressor has also taught you to hate your own kind, to hate the skin that you're in, to hate the reflection on that mirror. You know why? Because everything that's good you've been taught was white. As if white people don't commit acts of violence against each other. And white people are not violent. They're so civilized. They're so nice and kind. They say polite things to you. They say, hey, good morning. And you never seen them as the man of sin. You know what I'm saying? Because in the psyche of black people, we look to white people as gods. It's facts. Right? This is the reality. I know you don't want to face it. Some form or some fashion, there is a black man or a black woman, Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, Native Indian man, Native Indian woman, that's patterning some aspect of their life behind society norms. Now, what does that mean? Right? Everything that you do here in America, you've been programmed to think that way and to act that way, right? when it comes to when it comes you good, word. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the way you dress, right? For an example, I'm just using an example. When it comes to the way you dress, all right, you feel like proper attire or formal attire or being respected is somebody not dressing within their culture, but somebody dressing within the culture of your oppressor. So when you go to get a job, when you go to court, when you go to anything that you feel that is of importance, the thing that's in your head, you may think it's innocent to dress this way, right? It's society norms, right? But you don't really understand that this is the standard that your oppressor has set. This is his culture on what's good, right? And we put on that culture thinking that this is normal when really you're following after somebody else, right? Another example, the things that you eat, right? Somebody might say it's fine to eat this way. Go ahead and eat it. It's the other white meat, right? It's tastes good. It's good for you. It's all these type of things. You know what I'm saying? But you think it's normal to eat these certain things because society has set the standard on what you should eat, not knowing that this is a whole standard that comes from your oppressor, right? Holidays, things that we celebrate, you think it's fine to celebrate when this is the standard of your oppressor. Some way or some form, a black man or Hispanic man, Native Indian man is out there following your oppressor. Now, the minute that you tell them that you're not supposed to be following that, you're not supposed to be doing this, you're supposed to be living like this, you're supposed to be dressing like this, you're supposed to be acting like this, you're supposed to be behaving like this, guess what? They fight against it because their oppressor is their God to them. And society norms is God laws to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what our mind has programmed to believe. From a youth on up, you thought what's normal in today's society is of God because your oppressor told you it is of God. That's why you go to church, dressing your best, not to oppress God. You know what I'm saying? You're dressing the way you dress to oppress your savior, the white man. Because that's how he told you to dress. You understand what I'm saying? If y'all get what I'm saying.
I'm
like
with
the
you, sir.
psyche of black people is so diluted with the ways of our oppressor that it causes us to walk around with low self-esteem, to harm each other, to sell drugs to each other, and to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? It's because the psyche of our oppressor is trapped in our mind. Right? Somebody, you about to say something? Also in the shot.
Oh man, if I may, sir, I know you got to roll. So the oppressor, how did he get us like this?
Mm-hmm.
By burning crosses on your lawn. He terrorized you to the point now, you know what I mean? Your mama beat it in your head. Don't be aggressive. Don't be like Christ. Be like the white man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then on top of that, now it's to the point where, like what you bringing out, sir, like we don't worship God. When we get that paycheck or that job and this, that, and the third, we worshiping the white man for that. I go to a slave, sir, and there's brothers, like you say, they soft and beat the Pope. So they listening to these Christian songs on their break, and they, Lord God, you know, they so happy and thankful that the white man gave them a job. They think they're praying to God and singing to God when they're doing that song, and they actually praying to the white man. They're thinking the white man. They're thinking their oppressor Esau, that man of perdition, for giving them a job. Now he can eat. Now he can, you know, put a roof over his head. Now he can take care of his family and his wife and his children. You know what I mean? He think he's praying to God, but he's praying to the white. He's thinking the white man. Yes, God, thank you for this job. Oh, I love you. You're so good. He's talking to the white man. You know what I mean? He's not talking to he's not thinking God. He's not thinking, you know what I mean? Like when the white man come and give you something, you're not really in your mind thinking God did that. You think Esau did that? You know what I'm saying? And to the last point, like what you're saying about how we've been programmed. I was on the job site today, and it was like a group of white people coming through, all suits. That's what they do. We the slaves out there beating bricks and stuff. They just walk through and look around. So after they walk off and leave, I'm standing there with this brother, and I'm like, man, I hate white people. He say, man, that's a strong word. He said, that's a strong word.
Right.
I'm gonna leave it at that. So I'm not even gonna get into it.
Nah, listen.
I'm gonna leave it at that. But he said, that's a strong word.
Listen, you saying that was saying that you hate God.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I told him hate's in the Bible. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you know what I'm saying? But your oppressor will tell you something different. Somebody else is lucky?
Yeah, I was just gonna say on Officer in the shop behalf, not on his behalf, but what you went through at the slavery other one, it kind of felt like back on the days at the plantation when the brother was like, man, I'm finna run and get the hell away from here. And then the other slave would be like, yeah, what you talking about? We got it good today.
Why you want to run? You got it good.
It's lucky.
Don't Master don't beat us that much.
God.
Not like Master on the plantation over there. He beats slaves every day. Our Master only beat us once a week. What you running for? Don't you beat?
Like it's the byproduct of what we deal with today, man. Like even that being mentioned shows you that you still a slave as a black man, man.
Yes,
like even if you don't even believe in God, right? Let's say you one of those black people don't even go to church. Well, guess what? I can guarantee you something in your life that you're doing it based on society standards, man, which ultimately comes from your oppressor.
Yes, sir.
I can guarantee it, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you ever wonder why black people sell drugs to each other, right? Now, black people shoot each other. Black people commit certain acts of crime towards each other, right? If you ever wondered why, it's because all our lives we've been taught we are inferior and our slave masters are superior. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why. Because we have never been taught that the greatest man that ever walked this earth was a black man named Jesus Christ. We've never been taught that. We've never been taught that all the great figures of the Bible were all black. We've never been taught that the greatest people that ever walked this earth are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right, we have to be re-taught and re-educated on who we really are. Right? If I can get one more verse, what time it is? If I can get John 8 and
got time.
Let me get my last one, John 8 and 44, real quick.
Come. I got it, sir.
Throw out the word.
The book of John, chapter 8 and verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil.
Now, this is Christ speaking to Jews. Christ is a Jew himself. So he's speaking to his own kind, right? And the Bible teaches that the real Jews are black. So this is a black man speaking to a group of black men, right? And he's saying that you are your father, the devil, speaking to these black men, right? Read on.
John 8 and 44. Ye are of your father, the devil. And the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning.
He was a what?
Murderer.
A what?
From the beginning.
A what?
Murderer. From the beginning.
George Washington was a what?
A murderer from the beginning.
Abraham Lincoln was what?
A murderer from the beginning.
The founding fathers of America was what?
Murderers from the beginning.
These Italian mobsters was what?
Murderers from the beginning.
Guess what? And this is who we made our fathers. Like little children, we follow after these people, man.
Right.
When they are murderers, man. They're criminals. Being violent towards each other is not black culture, man. That's white culture. They bombing each other right now. Ain't nothing black about that, man. You glorifying it is nothing but perpetuating white supremacy. That's all you're doing. You might as well wear a KKK hoodie while you go in that booth. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because that is nothing but white supremacy, man. You know what I'm saying? And the white man being the devil that the Bible speaks of will portray himself like he's good. Like he's not the man of sin, but the man of God. And you'll look to him as if he is God, as your father. Like you should follow everything that he says. You know what I'm saying? When you should do the exact opposite. Right? Read on.
He was a murderer from the beginning. And abode not in the truth. Because there is no truth in him.
Right, read on.
When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own.
Guess what? When he lies, guess what? He's speaking of himself.
Right.
When he tells you that he's God and he's Jesus and I'm good and I love all people and white people are good people. We don't commit violence and all. He's lying, bro.
Right.
Every lie that he tells you is a lie of himself. You know what I'm saying? If you want to understand true black culture, come to the ISUPK and read your Bible for yourself. You understand what role and position that we're supposed to play on this earth. And with that, man, I want to say the water, Austin the Shock, man, Trooper cannot. You know what I'm saying? Also, y'all was on as well. Everybody in the chat, all the brothers and sisters that participated in the class. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. ISUPK Orlando, new content coming soon. ISUPK Florida, subscribe as well. New content coming soon, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to understand about your culture, about your identity, you are in the last days, black man, right? I don't know if y'all know this. Stop being comfortable. Don't be comfortable in this place. I know it's compelling. I know it's fun to do, to be a part of this place. But now is the time to get right. Strive for it with all your might, all your ability. Don't feel no type of way of changing your life. Because they loved you when you was a sinner. They loved you when you hated your own. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as you decide to serve God, that's when you'll lose out on all your friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Even your loved ones, your wives, your husband, all of that. Say the hell with that and become brand new. You know what I'm saying? And receive God's love. Because that's the only thing that's going to last. All right? So with that, man, we're going to say shalom, Israel.
Shalom, sir. How about you now? Shabbat.
Shalom, everybody.